take those steps beyond your way. Take those steps. When you have a dream, you gotta start. It's the only way. If you're gonna shine, and you're gonna shine, 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 you're gonna shine. And we are shining bright. Best part of a Monday is right here on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one stop for all indie art music. If you're an indie artist, you want your music up there, they're great to indie artists. They have curated playlists. They give you all your money. I mean, it's just a great place to be. We are also brought to you by the Plow Zone out in California. So you can hear us on Wednesdays on repeat on a Wednesday. Also, My Indie Music out of Paris. You'll hear us there on Thursdays, and all the streaming at platforms. So we're every place you want to be, including Roku TV. So thank you all for tuning in and being on the ranch. And Billy, so happy it's the best part of your day. I'm glad I could help make people smile, because we're spanning the globe to bring you the best in indie Americana music. And my heart today, we're, a fellow surfer girl is on the show. So I'm really thrilled for that. So we're going to find out from Linda Purrs how you go from being a surfer girl in California to a country girl in Nashville. Linda Purrs, how are you?
Hello, welcome. Nice to see you.
Welcome to the ranch. I haven't seen you since Atlanta.
I know. So it's really nice to connect with you here. I'm really happy about what you're doing, letting people know out in the ether, indie artists, and, getting to know different people,
I know, it's really cool. And we indie artists got to stick together. It's not easy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we girls have our special challenges. So we were talking a little bit before we started. You're surrounded by ocean almost all your life, and now you're in landlocked Nashville to be a country girl.
Yes, I am.
You didn't always start out as a country girl.
No, I was a Beach Boys, Surf's Up. We ditched school to go surfing, skateboarding. My skateboarding wasn't very good. We're at the very beginning. I remember being in elementary school and making a skateboard out of a 2x4 with my roller skate wheels. You couldn't turn. You could only go straight on the sidewalk, but that's when, you really, and I grew up where skateboarding started, Dogtown, Redondo Beach, Long Beach, and, the surfing. And I lived at the beach. My parents went to the beach. As a baby, I think I was at the beach. It was just, and then, you didn't have sunblock back then. You put the oil on to burn.
Oh, we had baby oil, olive oil, cocoa butter. We were just going crazy.
I know. And then you put lemon on your hair so it'll kind of bleach it a little bit. Oh, yeah, that was really good for your hair. So that was my lifestyle growing up. I had no country music, zero. A couple crossed over. I thought Dolly Parton wrote one song, 9 to 5.
Right.
Because that's all I heard.
Were poppier ones, right?
Yeah. And then like Kenny Rogers, I'd hear some of his songs, Willie Nelson, On the Road Again, but not all his songs, just like that one.
No.
So I'd heard of a couple people. And then my only touch of country music was like Sunday mornings on our TV stations. There'd be like some weird couple with a big hair, and they're playing their guitar kind of not too good. And I thought, oh, that's country music. Yeah. So I had a lot to learn. And I did. I have learned and caught up here in Nashville. So, but it was hard. It was really hard because I ended up in Oregon 20 years before I moved, right on the coast. You could look out my window. There's the cliffs, the ocean, the beach. I walked the trails 2 or 3 times a week. I had a dog. We had a beach where dogs could run, and it was just an energy from the waves, from the waves, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but I've embraced Nashville. I've just gotten it. Well, what happened is I wrote a lot of my songs out in California and Oregon, well, mostly California. But I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't even know I was writing them. I didn't know where they came from. They just came to me, and then when I got out here, I finally said, well, I can do something with my songs. And so I actually got very excited. And I started, and I could remember all my songs. I had the words written down, but I didn't, have the music written down. But every song I could remember. And I went, and the first thing I did, I've only been involved in music for 5 years and getting my songs together. And let's see, let me fix this a little bit. It's not working.
In the meantime, we're going to say Rob Jones is saying hi. So hello, Rob. How are you?
Let me pull this around.
We got a bunch
of
people
hide this.
So again, this is an interactive show. So if you guys have any questions for us, we have any other fellow surfers out there, I'd love to hear from you. I know Billy's not too far from the water.
Well, so I got my things together, we'd say late in life, but I went for it. I'm here in Nashville. So I actually record, because I didn't play guitar very well. I recorded all my songs a cappella, and I didn't know what to do. And one day I was just at a local gym, and I go, I wish I could find a guitar player. And a guy I'd known for 5 years, he goes, well, I could play for you. and that he's just come out doing his stuff with me, and we do a lot of songwriter contests, and I put on a show twice a month, a 3-hour show, and I reach out to songwriters. And because when I first got on the stage, I didn't know how to hold the microphone. I didn't know where the wires went. And I tell other people, instead of, there's songwriter rounds in this area, but to actually be on the stage and perform is a lot different. And I prefer it. And I'm not good in a listening room.
You're not good in a listening?
No, I'm not good in a listening room because I want to talk. They want you to be quiet when you're listening to all the songwriters. So we do this show, and I reach out to songwriters, and some very first time people come, and I really encourage them. And then we get some seasoned people that love to come to my show. I have met so many wonderful people. My life is totally enriched by music on a daily basis. And then I found the ISA, International Singer-Songwriter Association, where I met you. And that was my second time. And so during the pandemic, my husband in Oregon, he used to work for the little dinky TV station on the Oregon coast. But he would go do commercials, like Bob's Cars or Ted's Furniture Store. Okay. So during the pandemic, I go, you can make me music videos. So that's what we did during the pandemic. I now have about 12 music videos. So I had some material I could submit to the International Singer-Songwriters Association. And I met some people here that belonged to that I just have so much respect for. And I looked into it. And I really think that is the most outstanding organization to be part of.
It is so supportive. It really is for indie artists. There's nothing like it, to be honest.
I don't. Well, I looked at all these other things that were around, and I wasn't feeling it. And I go, I'm feeling it there. So this was my second year. I was actually nominated. I did. I have 2 CDs to show you. This one, you probably can't even see it very well. Oh, that doesn't show up at all. No. Anyway, it's called Cowgirls Get the Blues. And I had a few blues songs, but again, I didn't know what to do with them. I knew how I wanted them to sound, but where was I going to get a blues guitarist or how was I going to have this happen? And Nashville is magical. things just happen. I sit next to a guy listening to some blues songs, and he goes, in my town, we were at Reba McEntire's Starstruck Farm. And the gentleman there has turned it into a musical venue. And I used to go every Friday. They had a kind of people could sing and stuff. And I never sang there because I only had he didn't want original songs when you did them. That's all I knew. But I know a lot of Hank Williams Sr. songs. He's my songwriter inspiration. But I went there, and there was a guy I was talking to, and he goes, well, if you need any help with a blues song, I can help you. So I latched on to him. And then I went, a lot of people, especially, I mean, I didn't know this person, and now I'm friends with his whole family. Ronnie McDowell. He's very popular. He's in his 70s, and he's been popular since the 50s, right after, because he wrote The King is Dead, right after Elvis died. And he's been a country Elvis singer for all this, his whole life. Well, he's nearby, so I'd go listen to him, and I'm sitting next to a lady, and we're chatting, and then after, they had a sax player playing, and it was her husband. And he says, well, I'm doing a CD called Country Meets Soul. And I go, well, I'm doing one that's, country meets blues. And he listened to the one song I had, and he goes, well, you want some sax on that?
Yeah.
I go, yeah. I go, how much? He goes, first one's free. And he's in his 80s turning out this new CD. And he's played at my show 3 times. But he played for Mickey Gilley 2 years back in the day.
Wow.
And he put out one song has his, and then a guy in my I have a guitar player and a harmonica player. And one day the harmonica player said to me, he didn't even know I had these blues songs. And he said to me, my favorite harmonica to play is blues. I go, what? So he's on 3 of my songs. I have the sax player on the one, and then that blues guitarist. I mean, I swear, you just put your thoughts out here in Nashville, and things happen. And
yeah, that makes it cool.
It's just magical, and I've had a wonderful time doing these songs. And I'm just going to plug one other one, because just today, which you can't see either, fine. Just today, I finished, it's called, I'm trying to see if it can focus at all. Okay. It's called Gospel Choruses According to Linda Purrs. Now, they're not original songs. They're just songs I used to like to sing in the car driving around. So I did like 10 of those. It's not like the full song. It's just something to sing along with. Then I have a girlfriend with an original song on here, I Found Jesus in the Sand, and a gentleman from Madison, which is right next to Nashville. He does new ragtime music and plays as a church, and he just wrote a song called Humble Yourself to Jesus. And I'm ending with Hank Williams, him singing I Saw the Light.
Oh, okay.
And because I realized I bought the license for that.
Okay.
And I'm going, see, I wasn't learning a lot of Hank Williams songs because I thought I had to buy the license for every single song I sang. So it didn't motivate me to learn them. But then I found out when I'm at an establishment, they're responsible.
Right. They should be. They're supposed to be. Some are more responsible than others. They're supposedly paying royalties, and they're supposed to provide a list and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Some are more responsible than others.
Well, they have to do it because you can get fined and shut down out here in Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville, I'm sure they're on top of it a lot more than
probably other places
because it's a problem.
So I actually sing.
It's a fine line because we have so many live venues out here closing that if you enforce they have to pay, they don't want to pay the artists, and we're just losing live venues left and right. So Linda, let's talk about your original music, because you're a bit of a rebel when you write, which I really love. Like, you have this song, Happy Anniversary, and you think it's going to be this schmaltzy, and then you're like, nah.
No. I sometimes say right before I sing it, I go, "This is my song, Happy Anniversary," or not. But yeah, I have my song. I call my songs raw. Well, actually, I had a fan. She goes, "You do raw country," and so I call it raw country, and it's love and heartache. You know, what everything is like that. And I joined NSAI, the Nashville Songwriters Association International, and I got all the critiques and everything. And their critiques were what they critique. They go, well, your sounds have an older vibe to it. Well, they didn't know that's what I wanted, you know.
I really believe this, and I talk about this on the show. There are two types of country music right now. There's the old school country music versus the modern country music.
Yeah. It's a war. That's a war out here. It's a war. They hate each other. They hate each other.
There's usually nothing in between. You know, I had one artist last week who's like, I like it all. I don't hear that often.
Yeah.
Usually, no, we only listen to old school music. And I'm like, all right, we got it. You know.
I have met them all. I mean, I went to the Troubadour for about 4 or 5 years, which was all traditional. And then I've been to the other venues. I mean, and they, like I said, they hate each other. And I like I'm one of those, I like it all. A matter of fact, my girlfriend who grew up on country music in Sweden, she's appalled at what I don't know about country music. But anyway, one day I told her I'm having a rap guy at my show. She goes, rap? We're country. I go, no, we're not. We're lots of things. You know, I like it all. And mine is probably in between. Mine's not like, it doesn't sound like traditional country, but it's an older flavor. And I you know, it's the cheating husband, and that never ends well. you think they would think ahead just a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no.
And then I have lots of love songs, and I've just embraced what's going on out here. And like I said, I like both kinds. I like Jelly Roll, Post Malone. I like the traditional guys. Like in our groups, we have Craig Hendricks, and he writes all his songs, but it's all like the 80s traditional country. And I just love it. He's played at my show, and he tours in New England area. So I've traveled a lot. I have a real big background in travel, and I've lived. I grew up in Southern California, moved to Central California. Then I lived a year in Alaska. Then I lived 8 years in New Hampshire. And I have a motorsports background. I helped run a racetrack up there, which is now New Hampshire Speedway.
All right, why don't we listen to Happy Anniversary? Let's get that.
Okay.
We'll come right back to you.
Okay.
All right.
Ten years have come and gone. I've been the good little girl at home. You took advantage of my love. Now I'm ready to roam. Would have given you anything, loved you devotedly. You just did one thing too many that changed my outlook on me. I'm a new woman, I see things in a different light. I tried to be, loving and please you with all my might. I would have given you anything, I loved you devotedly. You just did one thing too many that changed my outlook on me. It's not that the last thing you did was so bad, but when you add it through all the years, it's just my definition of love is not hurt and tears. So happy anniversary. You'll now have to put up with me, and maybe we will make it through another 10 years. I'm a new woman, new woman. I see things in a different light. I tried to be loving and please you with all my might. I would have given you anything. I loved you devotedly. You just did one thing too many that changed my outlook on me. I'm a new woman, new woman. I see things in a different light.
And we are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. Your one stop for indie music. You're looking for new music, you got to go to Blast. And that's where your indie artists want your music to be. And also Hotel Universe, your one stop for video needs. All artists need to be competitive. We do not compete with each other, but we want to be competitive in this market. Also, we listen to we have people listening at our radio stations, Plow Zone out in California. We love you guys. My Indie Radio is out in Paris. Glad to have you guys aboard. We have Roku TV, so that's video. And our streaming platforms, we're everywhere you want to be. On the ranch, we span the globe for the best in indie Americana music. We have people watching tonight, so if you have any feedback, comments for us, we'd love to hear you. Love to know where you're calling from. Today, we're with Linda. And I just love the spin you have on that song. You know, again, you thought it was Happy Anniversary, and you're like, you have all these lines like, yeah, dude, it just kept hanging out and no anniversary.
Well, I think, unfortunately, what happens a lot of times, you know, you put up with a lot, and my one line, it's not the last thing that you did. It's just when you add it through all the years.
That's a good one. Sometimes it is a big catastrophic deal breaker of an event.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of times it's just this accumulation of that's it.
Yeah. And, but I just, you know, but I also like to let people know, like the chorus, I'm a new woman. I'm a new woman. I see things in a different light. And sometimes, you know, maybe I didn't want to be a new woman, but you have to break out of something you're in or change a little bit. You know, it's a changing thing. I was different from being 19 than 29, you know. And you learn a lot, but you know, and there's other women that have had to go through things like that too. But you become a new woman. You don't, you know, that's things change and you can make it for the better. So I'm here to tell people you can make a good life for yourself, and music is a good way to do that. Either like say you're not a singer or songwriter, you know, we need the audience, we need the people to listen to our lyrics, you know. And I kind of like what I did with the video, because there's a lot more when you watch the video.
I know, and that's really interesting because it's not a lyric video. You actually have a lot of like scenarios going by, and I was noticing that because at first I'm like, okay, it's a lyric video.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, you know.
Yeah.
What that? So that was
I think it's kind of unique and kind of a, you know, like just like that. People going, what?
I haven't seen it. I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. So
yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've really enjoyed the writing and getting my music together. And we have a local music store here, and we call it a song circle. They started a songwriters night, but some people come in and just want to sing a song. So we changed the name to Song Circle. So we can just go around in a circle, and if you have an original or you just want to sing a song, you can, you know. So
I love being a good song circle.
Yeah, so that's been nice, for in my local community. I am right outside of Nashville. I'm close enough where I can get to everything. And speaking of getting to things, this weekend, oh, I have the biggest honor of a song being nominated for a Josie Music Award. And if you don't know what that is, there's the CMAs, or there's the Grammys, there's the CMAs, and here in Nashville under that are the Josie Awards. And they have the heartbeat of Nashville. They had 86,000 submissions. And out of that, they pulled 10,000 songwriters, and they swear they listened to everybody's submissions. Out of the 10,000 songwriters, they picked 188, and I was one of them, to receive a Songwriter Achievement Award. It's going to be Saturday, November 1st, and it's a big festival day, and then they do multiple awards for this. Like, I don't know if there's 10 or 20 they hand out. But then on Sunday, they're at the Opry doing the rest of their awards,
Right.
Best Duo, Best Everything, like at the Atlanta. But they really have the heartbeat of what's happening, where the CMAs, they just seem to recycle the same people every year.
Yeah, and you have to have a label, and you have to have a lot of money behind you. It's not, I love to go to their workshops and things like that. They have a lot to offer. I'm part of CMA. But they're not. It's indie artists don't get a lot of love from CMA unless the workshops and how to level up and things like that. But as far as awards and stuff and recognition,
yeah. And I went to this award. I went to this award show at the Opry last year on a fluke in one of my songwriter groups. A gentleman from Ohio said, "I have a free ticket if you'll take some pictures of me." I go, okay. And that's where I really saw the outpouring of emotion and feeling at this event. So I was there last year. And so this year I said, well, I'm going to submit a song. And I did. And it's, so this kind of goes almost with my other song you showed. The song I submitted is called You Can Trust a Man.
Well, you didn't submit that one to me. The next one we have up, we're going to listen to is When You're Lonely. So I guess we could talk to me about that one.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just finish with it. You can trust a man to be a man. But anyway, so When You're Lonely, boy, I think of that as three different levels. So when you're lonely, you think of your lost love. Like sometimes when things are going great, you don't really think about other things. But sometimes when you have too much time on your hands, you thought, well, what's that guy doing I liked in high school? And you look up on Facebook or Google them or something. And so you have a past you're thinking about. And then when you're lonely, that could be so, loneliness is just such a big, hard thing. It's just all encompassing, and it just tweaks your brain, and you just always feel strange. And then it's like almost anyone will do. You get so lonely that almost anyone will do.
That's a great line. That's a great line to have.
It's like you don't want to be like that, but it's what loneliness does to you. You just like, I can't, so it's good to get involved in groups of hobbies and things you like. Try to find like-minded people, because we don't want you lonely. Get involved with your church, get involved, because don't be lonely, because it's hard. It's a heaviness. It's a real heaviness. So this song is about that. And I really felt it. I was married before, and my husband died in Florida. And for 12 years, I didn't have anybody in my life. And it was just an overwhelming feeling. And that's how this song came about.
Yeah. Well, let's listen to
When
You're Lonely.
When you're lonely, you think of your lost love. When you're lonely, you think of your lost love when you're lonely. When you're lonely, almost anyone will do. When you have no one to come home to, when you have no one to run to, when you're lonely, when you're lonely, almost anyone will do. When you're lonely, you think of your lost love. When you're lonely, you think of your lost love. When you're lonely, when you're lonely, almost anyone will do. When you have no one to belong to, when you have no one to sing a song to, when you're lonely, when you're lonely, almost anyone will do. When you're lonely, when you're lonely, you think of your lost love. When you're lonely, when you're lonely, you think of your lost love. When you're lonely, when you're lonely, almost anyone will do.
And we are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one stop for all indie music. Hotel Universe for your video needs. We love our radio stations, Plow Zone and My Indie Radio. So glad you guys are listening. We have our streaming services, Pocket Cast, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, Stitcher, Pandora, all of them. We're everywhere you want to be. So thank you all for tuning in. This is live, so I know there's a bunch of people watching. So feel free to give some feedback and show some love tonight. All right, Linda. When you're lonely, anyone will do. That's sad but true. Just sometimes you just want a hug.
I know. I remember, this sounds really sad, but I remember, you know, like you have a door, like your bedroom door or whatever, and the doorknobs. I used to hold the doorknobs and sway and pretend there's something.
Oh boy.
I mean, it can get really bad. And, you know, it's something I lived through. So I wrote the song about it. And the harmonica in that song was my guitar, or my harmonica player that plays for me. I'm in a group called the G-Town Players, and it's my guitar player and my harmonica player and myself.
Oh, neat. Very cool. How often do you play?
Well, I do my show twice a month, and then I've done some other things, like at some coffee houses, and I've gone to songwriter things. I've been to the Bluebird 2 times, Bluebird Cafe, and the Commodore is a real popular songwriter place. There's a million of them in town. But again, I don't
do original music anymore. If you're really on Broadway, you know, they do a lot of covers. You have to go off the strip.
Yeah.
You find the original music spots.
Yeah, there's lots. If you look, there's lots of songwriter rounds to attend, which is wonderful. Yeah, Broadway, There's there's Tootsie's plays some old country. Robert's Western World is the best one for old country. But I remember Garth Brooks' place opened up a year ago. I went there. It's all Aerosmith and rock and roll, and people were sitting next to me. When they play the country music,
I know.
so
I know. When I was walking around, it was a lot of cover bands on Broadway, and a lot of pop. A lot of rock.
yeah, a lot of rock. They want the rock. They want to sell their drinks, and it's a happy place down there. I'll go down there and I'll stay till I just can't listen anymore. I mean, there's like probably a couple hundred bands just on these two streets, playing on three floors of one establishment. And but Robert's Western World, and also if anybody does go down there, people might not know this. Robert's Western World at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, they do an old gospel show, old gospel singing.
Oh, okay.
From 10 a.m. to noon. And so I'd like to go on Sundays because I walk around, it's not all ramped up on a Sunday morning. And then I go to the gospel show, and then I just listen to music till I can't stand it any longer. And I love it down there, even though they play, a lot of rock and everything. But it's a nice fight. They're like happy drunks down there. It's not like Vegas or something. And Vegas is angry because everybody loses money. They're just all happy down there.
Oh, that's a point. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to ramp up even more once a second stadium opens up.
Oh, the new NFL.
Yeah.
The football. Yeah. Well, it's already, and they just opened up a soccer field that's going to host the World Cup next year, one of the games. The games, I guess, are everywhere. They're in Mexico, America, and Canada.
Yeah, there are just so many teams. You can't have them in one spot.
Right. So, but yeah, they just built that soccer. They got so much going on, and the music down there. It's a happening place, and I like what I participate in. I've had some people come to my show. I was their first time they ever sang in public, and they've gone on to make a real imprint in the last. I've been doing the show for almost 3 years now. March will be 3 years.
What's it called? What's it called, your show?
Hey, Linda Purrs presents.
Hey, Linda Purrs. Okay.
Yeah, Hey. And we videotape all my shows, and it's on that YouTube called Hey, Linda Purrs.
Okay.
We have all the shows videotaped there, and we live stream the show on my Facebook Live and TikTok. So we live stream. So some nights, if we don't have a lot of people in the place, we might have 200 or 300 people watching on TikTok.
Right.
It's really kind of cool, But I've had a couple bands start there a couple years ago. One was a bluegrass band, and now they're just going like they've moved on, Mm-hmm. And then I have a band, indie band, kind of John Prine type of music.
Okay.
And they have left now too, but they met each other there. One was in the 90s music, one was country, one was the John Prine, and the other guy I can't remember, but they're all different. But they all met, they didn't know each other, and they formed this band, and they just kept getting better and better, and they had original plus covers with that vibe, Mm-hmm. And now their specialty is they play Elks clubs all over. But it's neat that they met each other down there.
That is neat.
And the bluegrass band started there. The boy was 16 years old. At that time, you're supposed to be 21 to get in. But fortunately, he was a big guy. We just pull your ball cap down a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And now he's 18, and they're going to be on a WSM show November 15th out of Granville, which they do. Granville, Tennessee is like a Mayberry town. It's the cutest little town, and then their old country store, they do a radio show. So November 15th on WSM, and they're called Off Time, and I thought it was off time because you're like off the beat or something. But
right.
No, they go, no, we do this in our off time.
Oh.
But
okay.
I'm in touch with them. I see, oh, they're playing other venues around here in Kentucky and Nashville, but that they started right down there. So just in the couple years I've been doing the show, I've seen, some singers get the confidence they need, and then some groups have broken off, and it's been pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. It is exciting because, you get to work on your own music, support other artists, which I just think is wonderful, and you're right in the thick of things.
Yeah, and then when they actually write to me and they write and tell me their little story or how it meant to start there and everything, it's nice. And I even have a patio area. It's getting a little cold now, but I'll throw somebody out on the patio and they're playing too, and I just like having music everywhere. And I don't know what it is in our town. I've been here 13 years now to Nashville. And there was a lot of music on the weekends, there was like 4 or 5 different places you could go to, from jazz to country, and they're all gone. I'm like, well, there's one place, but it's so smoky, you can't even hardly walk in there. But everything's gone right in town. And except for my show. And it's on a Wednesday of all things, 5:30 to 8:30. But I tell people, well, we want to leave our weekends open. Yeah. And so it works out. I mean, it's something to do in the middle of the week. And I've even had magicians, brand new magicians, come out and practice. I've had comedians come out. I've even had a guy, I fell in love with his poetry. He came out, and I didn't know he could sing. And he goes, can I sing? I asked him to come do 3 of his poets. His poetry is so good. And if you've ever heard of Ben Burrows, I think he was with a newspaper on the East Coast in the 40s. And then when I heard of him in the 80s, he was in Florida. Beautiful writings, and not big whole poems. He'd do just like a little paragraph that we just couldn't wait to read it in the newspaper, And this guy reminds me of that. So I had him come, and he goes, well, can I sing a song too? I didn't know he could sing. So he and my guitar player, they did Simple Man, and he's belting it out like crazy. And now he comes down frequently and sings, and he does keyboard. And it's just such a surprise. And here I thought he was just a writer. He had a couple books and his poetry, But people are full of surprises, and I know. And I also interview some of them. I have on my Hey Linda Purrs, I have a section of interviews I've done of the artists that have come to my show. And you learn so much about them. And so I'm so happy with what you're doing, because it's one thing to just go up and sing your song, or you tell a little bit about your song, but people don't know who you are. And what you're doing is just giving a full experience to people listening to your show. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Aw, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
So how did your last song we're going to listen to, Slowpoke Cowpoke from Lompoke,
that song
come about?
That song is extremely special to me. I was in Central California, Lompoke, which is it's the farthest point. If you saw the state of California, there's a little point in the central. That's where Vandenberg Air Force Base is. They shoot the missiles off. And the town in there is Lompoke. But people always pronounce it wrong because it looks like Lompoc. And I'll hear it in movies, and I'll hear it on the news or something. So I thought, well, in this song, I'll help them pronounce the word, Slowpoke, Cowpoke from Lompoke. And how this all came about. So I was boarding some horses in Central California, and a guy out of the town had the horses there, 2 horses. And he talked me into having this guy, Jack Seiler, move a trailer on my property and take care of them during the week and ride them. So when he came on the weekend, they weren't all wild up, And I said no. I didn't want anybody on my property. And then anyway, I thought, okay. So Jack Seiler ended up being my best friend for 3 years. He lived on my property. He's an old rodeo guy from the 1940s. And he rode bulls. And he went, Salinas Rodeo is one of the rodeos my grandparents took me to all the time. and it's been around forever. It's one of the oldest rodeos in California. And he'd tell me all these stories about his rodeo life. I could write a little book about him. But anyway, I had been working. I had a job in New Hampshire, so I went up there for. And anyway, I got a call that he had died. And I sat down when I heard that, and I wrote this song. It just all came out right then. And Jack is born in Lompoc, and he's buried there. He's I've been where his cemetery, where his tombstone is, and he was such a good friend for me. I just liked him so much. We got along so good, and so it was. So that's how the song came about. And then when I put this video together, I do the storyboard and everything on my videos, and then I make my husband make them. And then I actually went to the Library of Congress and I found copyright footage of bull riding in the 1940s. And that's where you'll see some of that. And the barn I'm standing in front of is a person from church just down the street from me has this big old barn. And I said, well, I'd like to sing this song in front of a barn or something. And he had the cows all in the field, but they didn't bother you. And so the barn, it's kind of nice. It's a friend of mine's barn I'm standing in front of, and then singing the song about my good friend, Jack Seiler.
Oh, all right. We're going to have to listen to this.
Okay.
Slowpoke Cowfolk from Lompoc.
Yes. Poke.
Poke.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, before opening the afternoon performance of the 19th Annual California Rodeo at Salinas, I would like to call your attention to the fact that the performance of
A warm July day, the rodeo ready. But are they ready for Jack Seiler, who's headed there on his way? Tell those bulls that Seiler's coming to ride out his time. He has to get his pay. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, he rode him all the way. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, he rode him all the way. He got mixed up with those Padero brothers, hanging out, running round. It was do or die. Brought home to mom a wild rodeo woman. Together they rode the circuit, me oh my. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way. Ready, set, go, the crowd is cheering, up and down, all around, chaps flying in the air. Hang on, just a moment longer. Buzz went the buzzer, yay went the crowd, I gotta get me a beer. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, he rode him all the way. Do what you can to support your habit. Deer shooting in the off-season, brakeman for a train, packing broccoli in Oceano. Whatever to get you by to ride those bulls again. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way. He was a slowpoke cowpoke from Lompoc, yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way. Yippee-yi-yay, rode him all the way.
All right, we are back on the ranch, brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. I'm calling all Americana artists out there. If you want to be on the ranch, you just have to go to my website, which means you got to spell my name right. It's spelled Randie with an IE, O'Neill.com/shows, and you can apply to be on the ranch. And we'd love to hear from you. Right now, we're with Linda with your last song, which is a great tribute to a rodeo rider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was so happy to put that together, and it just so it makes me feel good to have a song about him, and because he was such a good friend for me, and it was just like I said, interesting all the stuff he told me, and he did those jobs in the off season, like they'd shoot when you're not supposed to get deer, and then he'd be a brakeman for the train and all those off jobs in the off season. So anyway, I'm really glad I got to. It just came, and the song. I don't know. Everybody is a little different, but I don't know what's happened. I wasn't even trying to be a songwriter when I was writing some of these. They just come to me. The music and the words came at the same time, all the time, all my songs, and I don't know why or how that happens. I was, like I said, I wasn't. I was trying to learn guitar, and I remember that. And then all of a sudden I'd be out doing yard work or something, and the song, bam, would just come to me. I don't know why. So that's how I've done my songs. I don't know why it happens.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I love when songs come like that. Some I have to work for, and others kind of seem to come to me. So what are you working on now, Linda?
Well, like I said, I just finished. Oh, I'm going to try something. I'm going to put this in front of my face. Can you see it at all?
It still has a glare.
Still glare. Oh, wait.
There it is.
So I just finished this today, this morning, put together these CDs. It's the gospel choruses according to Linda Purrs. And like I said, I have 10 songs. I sing a cappella with an ocean background. Ocean. And then my girlfriend's song, they don't even have their copy yet. I mean, I just did them this morning. So this is what I'm working on. Wow. And I'm going to be happy to share that. It's my first, Christian songs, and put them on and I wanted to feature my other couple friends who wrote some songs. And then, of course, Hank Williams now. See, when I came here, nobody meant anything to me. I mean, I heard of Johnny Cash, or Willie Nelson, but they didn't mean anything to me. And I studied like a class. There was a Robert Burns PBS show called Country Music. He's famous for doing World War II or all these documentaries. He had 8 episodes, 2 hours each. I watched that 5 times. That's 16 hours each time. And one time I took notes on the complete thing, 16 hours. And then Ernest Tubbs Record Shop has just reopened. It was closed for the longest time, and they've changed it all around. I haven't gone down there yet to see all the changes, but they have a little record store area. But that was my favorite place in Tennessee. I walk in that door, I can just feel all the people that did the midnight jamboree there. And I studied Hank Williams. I studied Jimmy Rogers, the father of country music. I studied the Carters. I studied the Appalachian music. I studied, the spirituals. Up until modern day. And I kept going back to Hank Sr. I go, what is it about him? And I didn't know he was as great as he was. There was just something that was, just like I would listen to Johnny Cash or Merle Haggard or somebody, or, other artists. But I kept going back to Hank Sr. And I realized I had heard some of his songs, but somebody else sang them. So I had no idea that they were. And I had heard of Hank Jr. I'd heard of Hank Williams Jr., but I didn't know anything about his dad. I didn't know he had a dad. I don't know. So when I studied Hank Sr., I have all his books. I have all his songs. I've studied them. I even did a Lovesick Blues because that's a copyright free song. I went downtown Nashville and recorded Lovesick Blues for that I sang, and I just fell in love with Hank Williams. So and my husband doesn't seem to be jealous of that. So I guess I'm good. I went down, spent 5 days in Alabama. I went everywhere Hank Williams went, and I went with my girlfriend from Sweden. We were on just this unbelievable. We were not on a major highway. We were where all the roads that Hank Williams was on, where he got married, shows, everything. Last shave and haircut. But anyway, so
he's been a big influence for you, which is amazing.
Yes.
We only have a few minutes left. We have 2 minutes left. Where can everybody find you?
Well, the best is on YouTube. That's the best to hear my music. So under just Linda Purrs, I have all my music videos, and I have a section now. I'm doing demos where other people are singing my songs, so they sound a little better. I'm a songwriter. That's why this Josie Award is so exciting for me. I'm not a singer. I can't play lousy guitar, but to get nominated for just my songs is really special. But so YouTube, I have 2, Linda Purrs and my Hey Hey Linda Purrs, and it's hey like a rolled up hay, Hay. Hey Hey Linda Purrs.
Okay.
And anybody can friend me on Facebook, and you can watch my Facebook Live. It's all public. You don't have to even join my Facebook. But on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays of every month, November 5th, I am having a ladies' night. I realized I have all ladies performing, and one lady coming, a country singer from England, and her daughter, and they're nominated for Josie Awards. She's going to be singing, and Lori Lynn does rock and Southern rock, and I'm going to do my Hank Williams songs and my originals. And I have a young 22-year-old, Jaden Gleaves, that does 60s music. And we're going to do some lady night dancing, like Electric Slide and Dancing Queen, and and
It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, so people, if you live in the area, you can come here, or you can watch on my Facebook Live. So the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of each month, and under Linda Purrs, and it's a 3-hour show. Sometimes we go to 4 hours. We just kind of wing it and have a blast.
Well, Rob is chiming in. He thinks we're doing a great job. So thank you, Rob, for chiming in.
Hi, Rob.
We appreciate all the support. All of you, find us, like us on Facebook, YouTube. Blast Music is here every Monday night. We go live at 7, and then you can catch us on repeat on our radio stations, Plow Zone and My Indie Radio, and all the streaming, and of course, Roku TV. So we will catch you next week on the ranch. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
So fun having you, Linda.